Okay, so now you've warmed up with 8 iron. How many of those, just again until you
Again, pretty much till I'm comfortable. And then, some days it's 3, some days it's 10, some days it's 20.
Right.
But then from there I go into my 4 iron. With my longer clubs, I like to wear my glove, but with my shorter ones, I don't, just for a feel factor.
Right.
A little thin there.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll... It's pretty dead straight right there. Loving that one.
Oh, wow. It's not bad.
Okay, so what's the 4 iron go for you?
4 iron's 260.
260, okay. So then, from 4 iron, you've got to feel for a little bit longer club. How are you going to get up to hitting driver?
I go to driver next club.
Next club, okay. Let's grab that.
Okay.
We'll hit a few drivers. What I
that one.
this one. What I normally see you do, when you're really working driver, is you've got this launch monitor that you pull out. You basically set that up like when. Are you just hitting a few drivers first, and then you're going to a launch monitor? And why are you using the launch monitor?
Well, the launch monitor I use primarily only around long drive competition time, just to check my speed, see where I'm at.
Right.
Because I know what speeds are going to produce roughly what distance.
Right.
It's never exact, but because everything depends upon contact, launch angle, spin rate, ball speed.
Sure.
There's a lot of factors that go into what determines your ultimate distance.
Right.
So.
But if you can get it close to what you're normally used to.
Exactly.
Then,
if I'm swinging at 150, for instance, when I'm getting ready for a competition, and I'm hitting it dead on the sweet spot, then hey, that's great. I'll take that all day long. And
absolutely.
Hey, if you guys can beat me with that, then more power to you. I'm never afraid to get beat by somebody hitting a better ball. I just don't want to beat myself.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we hit a few drivers. Is that how you're going to spend the bulk of your practice, or do you just hit a few, get kind of up to your speed, and then if you're working on something, you're not going to be working on it with driver. You're going to move back down to like a 7 iron or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm working on something in my swing, it's not driver that I'm sitting here working with, unless I'm getting ready for a competition.
Right.
That's a totally other animal. But we're just talking about playing golf, getting the ball in the hole. So if I'm wanting to work on something in my swing, I'll drop it back down to a 6, 7 iron, what have you. Or it might be a short game day and I'm working on just wedges.
Right.
But yeah, with driver, because we're talking about getting ready for like a tournament day, doing the warm up, get into driver, and with driver I will start off a little bit slower.
Okay, that's absolutely dead straight right there. I like that one.
And my slow might be your fast, but just go with what's slow for you.
The thing I like about your golf swing is you really don't look like you're swinging that hard at it.
Well,
as far as you hit the golf ball, like you would think that you would just look like you're wailing away at it as hard as you can. But I really don't get that impression. You're moving at it.
I'm moving at it.
You're not out of control, falling all over the place moving at it.
No.
It still looks in control,
Well, if you don't have balance, then you're not going to be in control of your golf ball. You're not going to hit it anywhere near where you want it to go.
Right.
Trying to find the center of the driver, or any club for that matter, without being in balance is difficult to impossible.
Sure. There's another one that's absolutely dead straight right there.
That was a little faster there.
Yeah, you took it up a little bit. Okay, so you've hit a few just to kind of, get the feel for it. And
sure.
Now, what's sort of your thought process as you get, let's say you're now warmed up a little bit. What are you sort of thinking? Are you thinking I'm going, as hard as I can here, or what are you doing?
Depends on the day and what I'm working on.
Right.
But
tournament, let's say.
Tournament, I'm just looking for what I'm comfortable with that day, which is usually in the kind of 85% range, and trying to find that good mid trajectory, low spin ball flight, so that I can hit it as straight as possible. And especially if it's a windy day, I really want to keep the spin off of the ball, because it starts blowing out here in Vegas like it can do, and you're putting spin on the ball, it's going to go further sideways than usual.
Oh yeah, big trouble around here. So.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe hit one more, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
I'll turn it up a little bit for you here.
Okay, there's 3 in a row, absolutely dead straight, and that one he actually tried to go after a little bit.
A little bit.
That was real good. Dead
Thanks,
straight.
Paul.
Okay, so you've got the driver going.
Yeah.
And now, what are you doing from there?
From there, I drop down. No, from there I drop down to my 60 and hit some short shots, hit some 50, 60, up to what my full lob wedge is, which is 110.
Okay.
I'll hit those little increments just to get the feel for it for that day, and pick out different targets on the range, whether it's a bare spot or a dark spot, or maybe there's a pin at 75 yards or what have you. I'll pick out different targets and just hit a couple balls to each one. And then from there, I go back into whatever club I'm going to hit on the first tee, whether it's driver. I carry a hybrid with me sometimes. I don't have it with me today, but
Right.
Hybrid, 3-iron, what have you. I go right into what I'm hitting for the first tee, and then I go from there straight to the first tee.
Okay. Good. What about any short game or that sort of thing? Are you doing that first?
I'm doing that first.
When you get to the course.
Yeah. If I feel like doing any chipping, then I will, but definitely putting. I want to get a feel for the greens that day, even if it's a course that I know well and have played a lot. They cut them at different lengths some days, and some days you might have that morning dew on the grass, whatever. So I'm just trying to get a feel for the greens for that day. I'm not necessarily looking at working on something to make putts or what have you. I'm just getting a feel for the greens.
Well, you are an exceptional putter. I will
Thanks.
give you that. You're probably one of the best I've ever seen. So, and they usually say that for big guys that hit the ball a long way, they're bad putters. But I can tell you, he is the exception to the rule. He is just amazing sometimes.
I like to putt pretty well. I just
Yeah.
need to hit the ball a little closer to the
A little
hole.
closer to the hole. That's right. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Like it wasn't a complex warm-up routine. It's pretty standard.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Absolutely. So everybody, if you can just keep that in mind, when you first come out, you're going to warm up not by hitting full shots. You're going to hit, just easy shots with a sand wedge, lob wedge, whatever it is. And then you're going to gradually move up, gradually increase your swing speed as you get up into the higher clubs. Hit a few drivers, that sort of thing. But if you're going to work on your swing and the positioning, then you're going to drop back down to a mid-iron. Okay. Don't stand there and just pound driver after driver.
You'll just irritate yourself.
Yeah. So what advice would you give somebody if they wanted to become a long driver?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of things should they be doing? You got to obviously hit a ton of drivers.
Obviously, you got to hit a ton of drivers. The first thing before you even get into hitting a bunch of drivers is, and this really goes for anybody, not just guys who are wanting to be long drivers, get yourself fitted. Seriously, that's probably the most important thing and most overlooked thing that I would see, out on the range or what have you.
We'll take a look at your bag and you can kind of talk a little
sure.
bit about that. That's huge.
But yeah, getting fit for your shaft and the head that you particularly like and everything, that would be probably the biggest thing, just so that you have equipment that's working right for you.
Right.
And then, as far as long drive goes, you really need to work out. You really do. I mean, all the guys are working out now. There's guys out there like Jamie Sidlowski and Landon Calling who are 5'10", 5'9", and a good breath of wind will blow them over. And then there's guys like myself at 6'8" and 300. So
typically your long drive guy.
Typically long drive guy is, I would say the average is probably 6'4" and probably 250.
Right.
You know, so I mean that's the typical, but there are certainly the exceptions to the rule. Guys who just know how to move their bodies that fast and create that kind of speed.
They do rotate very quickly.
They do.
Incredible.
You know, I would say probably the three words that would describe long drive the best would be speed, power, and flexibility. If you have all three, you'll be one of the top probably 10, 20 in the world.
Right.
If you have two of the three, you'll be extremely competitive.
Sure.
But with one, no, not going to make it. You got to have at least two of those three.
Right.
You know, if you have speed and power, you can relax a little bit on the flexibility.
Right.
But if you add the flexibility, you're going to be really tough to beat.
Right. So to get to your level, you know, they're going to be doing, the person's going to have to obviously do a lot of working out. They're going to have the right equipment, and obviously a golf swing that works pretty well.
Yeah, you have to hit the ball in the center of the face. If you're not hitting the ball in the center of the face, you're not going to be competitive.
Right.
I don't care if you swing 200 miles an hour. If you're hitting it off the toe and the heel, it's not going to work.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that next in our next video.
Sure.
Okay?